Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day number 3 of the 2019 Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships. My name is Dan Hobson. We have Alberta 1 and 2 hosting Quebec 2. And we're just underway as this is Charlie Julien, the catcher, starting things off here for Quebec. She was at the bottom of the order yesterday, had herself a fantastic game, fantastic day, so they've put her into the first slot. And she is facing Helena Appleyard, the pitcher there for Alberta. So we'll get to those starting lineups here in just a couple of seconds. Got a sunny Saturday morning, wind blowing pretty well from the backstop out to right field. Appleyard deals, that is popped up. Potential play there for the catcher. She looked up and probably might have lost it in the sun. And catching there is Tyra Stanich there for Alberta. So Julien, Florence Deshotel, the right fielder, bats second. Eleanor Deblois bats third, the first baseman. Batting fourth, Rebecca Finkel plays third. Justine LaBelle is the second baseman, bats fifth. Océane Wash, the shortstop, bats sixth. Batting seven, Alexandre Gamache, as that's fouled off. Batting eighth, the left fielder, Adrienne Vachon. And center fielder is Justine Morant, bats in the ninth spot. That's the order here for Quebec in this one. Appleyard deals again. Strike three. Julien goes down looking to start this one. Set the Alberta defense here. Weeks is the left fielder. Fulton the center fielder. The right fielder is Andy Suhai. Infield from third is Haley Sador. Brindley Rice is the shortstop. Second base is Sydney Smith. And making the play there was Downs coming up with that one as we were just about ready to introduce her. Zelaya Downs is the first baseman, and we already saw Tyra Stanich there, the catcher, and their pitcher is Helena Appleby. So quickly 2 up, 2 down. Eleanor Deblois, the first base person here for Quebec. First pitch swinging a pop up once again. And on the run, making the catch for Team Alberta with Sydney Smith, and she'll lead things off for Alberta in the bottom of the first. So a pretty good economical first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody's left on there for Quebec 2 after the opening half inning of play. We're into the playoff portion. Of course, Quebec 2 started these championships with a loss. It was a big-time loss. Almost sounded more like a slow-pitch game. 21-11 to British Columbia on the opening day. And then yesterday, there was their 2-game day. And you go looking for a split. And what materialized? They got both wins. A 10-1 win over Manitoba. And then a 13-6 win over Saskatchewan. To go to 2-1 to get to this position here on playoff Saturday. Alberta been a little bit of a surprise here. We're expecting them to be in the running, and they've had some difficulty. They faced Nova Scotia 1 and lost that game 8-1 on their opening day, and then defeated a very tough Ontario team. Had a chance to see Ontario last night. 5-1 the final score in that one. And they had the late game at 6 o'clock last night, and they faced British Columbia. And that was a tough one for them, 17-6. A 17-6 loss, so they're to 1-2. So here is Alexandre Gamache pitching here for Quebec, and this is the lineup that she will face against Team Alberta. We saw Sydney Smith, the second baseman. Then it's Brindley Rice, the shortstop. Haley Sador, the third baseman. Tyra Stanich does the catching, bats fourth. Zelaya Downs is the first baseman. The extra hitter is Sydney Moore. Andy Suhai is the right fielder. Leanna Appleyard pitches and bats eighth. Shelby Fulton, the center fielder, ninth in the order, and Ava Weeks, left fielder. So that's the starting lineup for Alberta. Setting the defense here for Quebec. Adrienne Vachon is the left fielder. Center fielder is Justine Morin. Right fielder is Florence Deshotel. Infield, Rebecca Finkel. Shortstop, Océane Waugh. Second baseman, Justine LaBelle. First baseman is Eleanor Debois, and doing the catching was Charlie Julien. And as you see, it is a sunny and windy day, but a pretty good morning, and it was a little cool to start, but boy, the heat's starting to come up already. Gamache deals, fires, and getting a piece of it there was Smith. The first time this week that we've had sunshine to start today. We've had some cloudy, overcast days to start mornings, and the sun right in the player's eye, so this is going to be an added little factor, especially for the right fielders on the respective teams. Gamache deals. Another strike, so Smith now in the hole. Skylar Blanchett will be doing the plate here this one. And Kevin Purchase, the first base umpire. Chris Solarski down the third base line. Fouled off to stay alive there for Smith. Gamache deals again. Just getting a piece. Fouling that one off. Some late arriving Quebec fans here are going to get a good close view of this one, bringing their lawn chairs. Gorgeous day here in Bedford. Skylar Blanchett rings up Smith for out number one as she goes down looking. Brindley Rice, the shortstop. Out of Olds, Alberta. I have a couple of friends. Actually, I have a friend out in Okotoks, Alberta, by the name of Lynn Ardeal. Of course, her son Taylor is a curler down here in Nova Scotia, but they make frequent trips down to Nova Scotia. So, not sure if she's tuning in watching this morning, but she is a softball, baseball fanatic. And there's a ball that's ripped down left field, but it's well foul. So, long, loud strike there to the Alberta shortstop. Just a delay getting that ball back in. Also, the left fielder trying to get in position there for Team Quebec. Vachon. Gamache gets the sign there from Julian. Fires. Breaking ball high and didn't drop down in time there. Not wasting any time as Gamache deals, and that one's high, so it's going to be ball four. So first base runner of the game belongs to Alberta. Rice is on. Sador coming up here for Alberta. She's out of Gibbons, 17-year-old left-hand batter, as you see. We'll see what Rice has. This is a first look here pitching-wise at Gamache. Pretty good aggressively to start. Sador looks at ball one. 1-0 the count. Julian puts the sign down. Gamache ready, deals. And out front as she throws a changeup, and that will even the count at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Rice, good secondary lead. Here's a ground ball to short, could be 2. They go to second for 1. Over to first, double play. Six, 4-3 double play. Gets Quebec back onto the sticks, and Alberta maybe was kind of hoping for something a little bit better, but ground ball to short, and 6-4-3, they go around, and that will end that one. So they just get a base on ball, so there's no runners left on base. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on through one as we head to the top of the second. No score between Quebec 2 and Alberta. Here on 360 Live's coverage of the 2019 Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships. Of course, when you have tournaments like this and championships across the country, it takes a lot of support. Rawlings Canada, of course, is that. They're the ones that, of course, supply the baseballs here. Those white pearl ceiling across the diamond out of the ballpark are supplied courtesy of Rawlings. The official baseball of Baseball Canada and all Baseball Canada national championships. Rawlings baseballs have a full grain of cowhide leather cover, special glaze seams, and quality wood windings. Rawlings is also the official bat, ball, and helmet of Baseball Canada's national championships. The top hitter at all Baseball Canada championships this year will be awarded a Rawlings bat. Make sure to check out rawlings.com. Third baseman Rebecca Finkel will lead it off here for Quebec. Top of the second, no score. Takes a cut there on the Appleyard fastball for strike one. Close stance here for the third baseman. Takes that one inside, evens it at ones. Looks at strike two, so she's in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Maybe want to widen that stance a bit here and cut down on the swing. Don't often see players choke up on bats anymore. Of course, we saw a Manitoba player, Swain does, as that's just getting a piece of it and sends it down the first base line foul. Appleyard likes to work quickly here. Of course, she pitched for Alberta on Thursday, and now Finkel will be rung up, and that's the second strikeout here for Appleyard. Both times looking. Justine Labelle, the second base woman here for Quebec. Quebec has a lot of left-hand hitters in their lineup. And that's a strike one there on the foul tip. Appleyard deals the 0-1. There's a ball sliced to left field. That would drop for a base hit. First hit there for Team Quebec. Ocien Roy, the shortstop. So this may change the windup in the stretch position now for the first time in the game here for Alberta's Appleyard. Appleyard looking over. Not much of a big leak so far there by LaBelle. Gets a good secondary lead. Foul tip, strike one. Appleyard wanting to work very quickly again. Be interesting what head coach Steve Inch, who has some minor league experience, has in store for Appleyard here. Appleyard with a long look over at LaBelle. LaBelle not going, and that's high, so that will even it at 1 apiece. LaBelle, pretty good speed we've seen here during the times that Quebec's played here on the Robert Lenahan field. Not going again and fouling it over the screen and almost goes into the concession stands here that they have at the Robert Lenahan field. Yeah, I'd say Dace Hotel as well as Suha are going to have difficulties with that sun. There's one that's outside and in the dirt. Good stop by Stanich. She has been a solid catcher here. Had a chance to see her game on Thursday. And they just get a piece of that one for Waugh to stay alive. One and two. Double play def here for Alberta. Downs holding LaBelle on. See if there's something up here for Quebec too. Couture not afraid to put the hit and run on. There's a ball that's hit to short, and it's a liner, and they'll come back to first. It's a double up. LaBelle got too far. And Rice came up gunning, caught it, and right on the run threw over to Downs, and they double up LaBelle to end that threat for Quebec. So Quebec gets a hit, but that runner, of course, sleeve is off the base, so no runners left on base, no runs, one hit, and no Alberta errors. The box score there for Quebec 2, top of the second. So we're heading to the bottom of the second, still no score between Alberta and Quebec 2 here from the Robert Lenahan Field. And we'll be back with that bottom of the second in just a couple seconds. Bottom of the second, Tyra Stanich, Zelaya Downs, and Sydney Moore due up here for Alberta. No score between Quebec 2 and Alberta here at the playoff portion. The 2019 Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships. That evens the count here to the Alberta catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Actually 0-2, my apologies. So no balls and 2 strikes. (0-2) offering from Gamache. And might have been a ball, but you know you're in protect mode with 2 strikes. Went down after it and chops it over the backstop. (0-2). Blanchett says, let's go. Gamache deals. And once again, fouling that one off. Yeah, one of the guys just hanging around the concession stand shows he has a little bit of nice hands, plays it on a bounce. Trying to protect the goodies of that stance that they have there for food. Gamache decides to whiff a waster right above the bill of the batting helmet. So that makes it 1-2 now. Trying to see if Stanich would chase. Stanich, no dice. 1-2 offering. Breaking ball. And that will even it at 2-2. Didn't miss by much. Nice frame by Julien, but Blanchett says nope, missed. Evens it at 2s. Swing and a miss. Down goes Stanich. Zelaya Downs. Left hand hitting first baseman. steps in here for Team Alberta. Looks at strike one. Say something about Gamache. She's been pretty well ahead of every hitter so far in the early goings of this one. Swing and a miss by Downs. And Downs is down in the count, 0-2. Breaking ball. Sent down to second base. LaBelle sends it right over to Debois. And that's out number 2. Extra hitter Sydney Moore hitting in the 6th spot here with 2 down for Alberta. Only 1 hit so far in this game. Belonging to Quebec there at the top of the 2nd. Only 1 base runner for Alberta. That was a walk there by Rice. And then was erased on a 6-4-3 double play to end that first inning. Strike to Moore. Moore with a wide open stance. Gosh, that's bounced in. 1-1 count here to the extra hitter for Alberta. Thought about going after. She held her swing, but Blanchett says it's a strike anyway, so it evens it at 2-2. Now she opens up just a little bit more there. Try to get a good look at the Gamache dealing, which is on its way. Caught looking, strike 3, and that's how the inning goes. Second strikeout of the morning here for Gamache. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. So 2 complete, no score between Quebec 2 and Alberta here at the playoff portion of the 2019 Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships on 360 Live. Providing support to many national sport organizations, including Baseball Canada. Sport Canada is directly responsible for the Athlete Assistance Program that provides support to elite baseball players while attending college or university. Sport Canada has been a strong supporter of Baseball Canada for many years and has contributed financially to many activities. A special play ball from Sport Canada. So Appleyard back here to deal in the 3rd inning. It'd be the 7, 8, 9 hitters here for Quebec 2. Gamache, Vachon, and Morin. Gamache, left-hand hitter. As I said, a lot of left-hand hitters on this Quebec team. Big swing there by the pitcher. Can't catch up to the Appleyard fastball. No balls, 1 strike. That one should get some barrel on it, and it will drop in front of the center fielder for a base hit. Second hit of the ball game. Adrien Vachon, the left fielder. See if Quebec 2 has something going on here in this 3rd inning. Nothing breaking there for Gamache. The ball there to the left fielder. Double play depth here for Alberta. Downs in the neighborhood to make sure that Gamache doesn't go too far, and a little deal over. Sliding back easily is Gamache. Appleyard quickly to the plate. Oh, ball. Once again, this time Appleby with a look over. There's a ball hit. This could be trouble. It's going to drop in front of the right fielder for a base hit. They may have a play at second. Nope. Chris Solerski says safe as Gamache couldn't go too far, but let's give credit to the Alberta right fielder, Suhai. Started getting on her horse. Knew it was going to be a difficult play to get to. So back-to-back hits now. First and second. Moran, the center fielder, the ninth hitter here for Quebec. Had a double play in the first inning, and now Appleyard hoping that they could do the same again. Strike two, Moran. Goes up chasing. Tip for strike two, says Blanchett. One and one the count. And that's hit the center field. Misplayed. It looked like it was right on there, but Fulton had difficulty, and this will score a run as Gamache comes around and touches home plate. Quebec draws first blood. Moran with a base hit, and I thought Fulton really had that. It looked like she was on track and then misplayed it, but I said there's a big bright yellow dot up in the air that could be causing them a little bit of difficulty for the right fielders and maybe center fielders as well, as Shirley Julien will get her second at bat of the game. Started the game, struck out in the first. Winds start to pick up here at the Robert Lenahan Field. Steve Inch went to go to talk to his pitcher. Julien with an open stance here. No pitch, as Skylar Blanchett says wasn't ready, so Appleyard has to reset. Runners at first and second, still nobody out here in this top of the third for Quebec, and they've got one on the board already. Appleyard looking in for the sign there from Stanich. Deals. Misses for a ball. Quebec pitch starting to get vocal. Goes up chasing there for a strike, so it evens it at 1-1. 2-1, pardon me. 2 balls, 1 strike here to the catcher of Quebec 2. That's laced to left field. And making the catch there was Weeks for Alberta. Really was hit too hard, so there really wasn't any chance for advancement for Vachon, who's at second base there for Quebec 2. Moran went halfway. Bit of an overthrow that almost caused a scare for Team Alberta. First out of the inning is Deschâtel. She pops it up. Going to be a third baseman that comes on and makes the play there for Alberta, Sadar. Eleanor Deblois. Line to a double play in the first inning. That ball is hit. Comes out to the second baseman, Smith, and she makes the catch. Didn't have difficulty with the sun. Well, that was an interesting inning there for Helena Appleyard. 3 hits for the first 3 hitters of the inning, and then gets some pop-outs. But they get a run on 3 hits. There was a couple runners stranded and no errors there for Alberta. Let's head to the bottom of the third, and we'll be back with the bottom of the third in just a couple moments. Suhai, Appleyard, and Fulton do up here for Alberta here in the bottom of the third. Quebec leading by a score of 1-0. Playoff portion here of the 2019 Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships as that rolls and spins foul. The first time this week we started the day with sunshine and really not much of a factor yet, not much of a wind either. Gamache deals. Strike 2 there to the right fielder. There's the 1-2 offering. Suhai caught looking at strike 3. Third strikeout here for Gamache. Her pitcher counterpart, Appleyard, coming up here. Appleyard fouling that off. Coaching staff there from Alberta will go and retreat the ball as Gamache getting ready to deal here. Breaking ball missing high. And that did miss by much. Julien with the frame there, but Blanchett says no dice. Full count offering is low for ball 4, so Appleby will get on. Center fielder Shelby Fulton. Maybe trying to redeem for that ball that maybe she will tell everybody and tell her friends she should have had. Coaching staff from Quebec too coming out to talk to Skylar Blanchett. Getting ready to go here for Alberta. See what Appleyard does here on first indication. Nothing going on. It's a ball there to the center fielder of Alberta. Double play depth here for Quebec. One thing we see in these championships, they know how to turn it. That middle infield, whether you're talking Quebec 1 or Quebec 2. Solid up the middle. Gamache gets a sign from Julien. Not much of a lead by Appleyard. There's the pitch, fouled off. That evens it at 1. And going down is Fulton there for a strikeout. Second one of the inning. Fourth one for Gamache here in the game. Ava Weeks. Just gets a little barrel of it and a little bit of a worm burner going to the Alberta bench for a strike. Very vocal Quebec team there, yelling encouragement to Gamache. That's a ball, so that'll even in a 1-1 the count. See if Steve Inch has anything going up here with Appleyard here. She's been stuck there at first for a little bit. There's a bouncer that will come to second. LaBelle. And easily over. But no, safe. Bit of a change-up throw, but Weeks put on the gears, and as a result, we'll be getting on first base with an infield hit. It was one of those in-between balls where Deblois and LaBelle. Deblois got a little bit too far off first base and had to get there. LaBelle had to wait till Deblois got back, and in the meantime, Weeks was picking him up, putting him down, and got to first. There's a ball back to the leadoff hitter, Sidney Smith. Tying run at second here in the bottom of the third. Smith was a strikeout victim in the bottom of the first. Gamache looks back and deals. That's low. Debois going to play behind the runner here with 2 outs. And there is a pop, so there will be a play possible here. Finkel makes the catch. And that will retire the side. So Alberta, that's the best chance they had there to break the eggs or get that donut off the scoreboard, but they'll strand 2 runners. No runs, no Quebec errors. Just 1 hit there in that inning. So 3 are in the book still. Quebec 2 leading by a score of 1-0 over Alberta. If you look out at the field and see those well-dressed umpires, we'd like to let you know they are wearing the official umpire apparel from Kahuna vs. Sports Group. Kahuna vs. Sports Group is the official supplier of umpire clothing to Baseball Canada. Clothing is just one small part of the Kahuna vs. Sports Group. Umpire supplies, equipment, shoes, and accessories are all just part of their line as well. Get in the game with Kahuna vs. Sports Group. Finkel, who made that catch just to end that threat there for Alberta, will lead it off, as well as LaBelle and Ocean Wa. Not much going offensively here in this one. Good low scoring affair between these two teams. Finkel struck out in the second to lead things off, and now she'll lead things off here in the fourth for Quebec. And takes a strike there. No balls, 1 strike. Finkel, as we talked about a lot, very close stance for her. Big stride and steps into that one. Comes up empty. Now she's down in the count. Not much in terms of anything changing there, and just gets a piece to stay alive. That's back to Appleyard, quickly over to Downs there to retire the third baseman there of Quebec. Justine LaBelle. No score between Nova Scotia 2 and British Columbia as they're in the bottom of the first in that one. Ball laced, but foul down the left field line. LaBelle singled and then was in that double play. And that one's belted to center field, and it gets by Folden into the fence. LaBelle not done as the ball will come in. She'll go into third easily. Ocean Wa, the shortstop, due up now here. See how Alberta plays it. They have already got the infield in, so if it comes to them, they're going to try to go to the plate, so they pretty well know that, you know, runs are going to be a premium here in this one. They're not going to be a lot of them. So if you get a chance to score for Quebec, they're going to of course, try to take advantage of it. And for Alberta, they're going to try to cut it down here. Interesting strategy, even though we're into the fourth. The one thing that Quebec has is pitching and lots of pitching depth, and if they could basically keep it a low-scoring game, that benefits Quebec. More runs, better for Alberta, so that's the strategy. And that's sent down to the fence along the third base dugout side on the foul ball. Don't often see umpires go and retrieve balls. It's usually players or the on-deck batters. Or Skylar Blanchett ran back, got that ball there. 1-1 here to the shortstop. One out, looks that one high. Makes the count 2-1. Pop back and over the stands. Actually hits the canteen area here at the Robert Lenahan Field. It's just like that. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Appleyard looking for a K. Will she get it here? Big spot in this game. There's that pitch. Down low. It gets by Stanich briefly, but she at least got a piece of it to stop it going to the backstop, but it would have been interesting to see. We saw LaBelle with the wheels. Maybe she has the gears to go from third to home. It's a very short backstop, but Stanich just gets enough to keep it in front of her. No advancement. But that fills the count now. Wall looks down to Melody Couture to get the sign here on this 3-2 offering from Appleyard. Deals. Gets a piece. We'll redo it all over again. I've not heard the pitch count for Appleyard yet so far in this game. There's a bouncer to the pitcher's mound, and that just works as good as a K, but they are going to go try to get the out at home. Is there a play? The play? Yes, there is. What a play by Alberta. Appleyard over the Downs, and then Downs throwing a strike to Stanich to get the 1-3-2 double play, something you don't see often here in this sport, but LaBelle froze the 1-3-2 double play, making sure that they actually did go to first and then broke home, and Downs with a laser to Stanich to end the inning. So it keeps it a one-run game so far, as that's a big play there by Alberta. Now they have a chance here to get things going. They're in the bottom of the fourth for them with their leadoff hitter Smith, Rice, and Sador. British Columbia has 2 runs now in the bottom of the first against Nova Scotia, 2-0 as they play on the Joan Lenahan Field. Major League Baseball continues to be a significant contributor to the growth and development of Baseball Canada as associated programs. Events such as the World Baseball Classic provide exposure for Canada's top professional players while generating invaluable media coverage and associated revenue for developmental programming initiatives such as the Winter Ball program and all Baseball Canada championships. Visit MLB.com for more details. Gorgeous sunny Saturday morning. Happy weekend to you all, wherever you're watching here on 360 Live. Baseball playoff portion here of the Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships. 1-2 Alberta taking on 2-1 Quebec. Brindley, Rice, Sador, and Stanich due up. It's at the top of the order, so my apologies. It's Rice, Sador, and Stanich, the first three for Alberta. That's low. It actually gets a piece of Rice, so she'll go on, hit by the pitch. Haley Sador was part of that 6-4-3 double play back in the first, so she's 0 for 1. Gamache with a look over. Good aggressive lead here by Rice. Going on first pitch. Julian comes up firing, but not in time. And if we've seen Julian here, of course, as much as I have here at these championships, she could throw it, and she got it down, made it a little bit closer because that was a heck of a jump by Rice. Runner at second. Let's see what Steve Inch has. Maybe put a bunt on, maybe get that runner over to third. We'll have to wait and see. Nope, swinging away. That hits the base, and that's a fair ball. Rice rounds third. She'll score. Sador into second, standing up with a double, and the game is tied at 1. RBI for Sador, double. Sick feeling there for Deblois, the first basewoman there for Quebec, going to make the play, hits the bag, and it's pretty well anybody's game after that where it goes, and it went down the line as a fair ball, so 1-1's the score. You just kind of felt that the momentum sort of changed with that 1-3-2 double play at the end of the inning, and Alberta quickly strikes. Hit by pitch. Sador with the hit. That's hit the short wall of a high throw, and Debois can't bring it down. And going to third was Sador, but that could have actually even worked worse for Quebec because the ball took a lucky bounce off the fence and came back into the infield. You don't see that too often. It is a short foul territory here at Robert Lenahan Field. Ball hit the fence, came bouncing back in, and it actually worked. Sador was allowed to advance to third, but Stanich couldn't do anything. She's going to reach on an error to the second basewoman. Zelaya Downs has a chance now to do some damage here with the stick. Stanich easily takes second base, so it's second and third. That one's bounced in, and Julian puts her chest up there to block that one. Keep it in front. Tell you, we've seen some great catchers here this weekend. Stymus for Team New Brunswick. Julian here for Quebec has been impressive. There's a breaking ball that misses. Manitoba Ledahowski is a pretty good catcher as well. Gamache looks over to Sador. Deals, and that's high. Took something off of it, but it doesn't fall into the strike zone. Gamache for the first time with a little bit of duress here in this one as Downs takes a cut. She's not afraid to throw that changeup as Downs was well out in front, well fooled in that one. 2-2 count now, I believe. Here to Downs. Here's the offering. Just gets a piece to foul it off. Bullpen's not busy right now for both teams. Nothing much going on. Inch with some instructions there to Stanich, who's standing at second. Sador at third. Downs at the plate here for Alberta. The 2-2 offering from Gamache on its way. That's a liner there, and coming on, making the catch, LaBelle. Pats her pitcher on the back, and that's a big out as it's the first out of the inning. Sydney Moore, the extra hitter, to the plate. Moore struck out in the second, so she's 0 for 1. And that was a big one there. The infield is back, so if it's a ground ball, it looks like they will concede the run. That ball is hit to left field, and getting on her horse there is Vachon, and she's going to have to, as Alberta is going to plate 2. Sador scores. Stanich scores. Standing up at second, Moore on the double. We'll see if this gets Melody Couture to get action up in the bullpen as it's 3-1. Andy Suhai now, the right fielder, struck out in the third. Alberta has brought in Chloe Ramsey to pitch run. There for Sydney Moore. Alberta has 3 so far in this inning to take the lead, and they're looking for more. One count here to Suhai. Breaking ball down, so that'll make it 2-1 the count. Ramsey at second here. Pitch running for Moore. 2-1 on its way. Evens it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ramsey, not much of a big lead there at second. Gamache with the look back. 2-2 offering. In the dirt, Julian bounces in front of her. Did a good job to keep it in front of her, my apologies. But still, Ramsey goes up to third. So now even a sac fly can plate that 4th one here for Suhai, so she'll look for something she could drive, maybe preferably to the right field if she can. It's full count to her. There's a ground ball to third. They're actually going to try to come home. Finkel, Julian, and Ramsey's cut down. The corner infielder's in. Finkel goes to the plate, and it will cut down that run. Helena Appleyard now, so it still remains 3-1 with a runner at first. Appleyard walked and was stranded at second in the 3rd inning. Gamache with the look over. Fouled back there by the opposing pitcher for strike 1. Suhai not a big lead there for Alberta. Seen it a lot. Sometimes you get that second time around the order, or even third time mostly with some of the men's action. But the second time here has been the hard thing for these girls at the championship, the pitchers I'm talking about. First time they'll go for the order pretty well easy, and it's like, oh, they could be in for an easy afternoon, easy evening, or an easy morning. Not the case. Second time around here for Alberta. Remember calling in game yesterday, a pitcher went for the first 9 pretty easy, and the second time 14 runs in that 4th inning. You talk about adversity. All of a sudden you think you got everything in control. Not so much. Blew the game wide open in that inning. The second time around. And so that's been the story here at these championships. 3-1 offering, and that's low for a ball. So Appleyard's second walk of the game for her. Shelby Fulton, the center fielder, was a strikeout victim in the 3rd. While the Quebec coaches there giving some signs here to the infielders as Melanie Couture goes to talk to Julian and Gamache. Skylar Blanchett wanting to break up the conference. Meantime, Fulton going back. Steve Inch goes to talk to Skylar Blanchett, the umpire. Has the lineup card in hand. Breen will pitch hit for Fulton. So this was a late decision. Taylor Breen out of Fort McMurray, Alberta, pitch hitting here for Shelby Fulton. Fulton was ready to go and was in the batter's box. Comebacker to Gamache. She knocks it down, has time. Throws it in with the stretch there by Deblois. Retires Breen. So that is the 3rd out there on the comebacker. So Inch tries to roll the dice here to try to get something going. But a big inning for Alberta. They managed to get on the board, got 3 runs on the board. They did strand a couple of runners. But Alberta has taken the lead here as we head to the top of the 5th. The tournament's top defensive player and top catcher will each receive a Mizuno glove. Mizuno is the official glove and catcher's equipment supplier for Baseball Canada's national teams. More than 200 professional baseball players depend on Mizuno baseball equipment every day to perform at the game's highest level. Visit MizunoCDA.com. British Columbia leading Nova Scotia 2-3-0 as they're still in the bottom of the 2nd over there on Joan Lenahan Field. So for Quebec, that'd be the bottom of the order for them. Gamache, Vachon, and Morin as the left-handed hitting pitcher comes to the plate here for Quebec. She singled and scored Quebec's lone run so far in this game. Melanie Couture will run down the third base line and into the coach's box. Appleyard getting ready to deal here. Quebec starting to pound on that fence to try to get the rally hats going and get a rally going. This helps as a base hit to center field. George looking at umpire there. The time. Stanich goes to talk to Appleyard. Won't make it a substitution. Juliette Lajoie will pitch run here for Gamache. So Lajoie will take over as the wind starts to blow. This time it's going from right field into the home plate area. So Lajoie will get a good lead here. You can see she's got a little bit of speed. Good secondary lead. Vachon looks at a ball. You definitely know that Appleyard wanted that one. 1-0 pitch is popped up in the infield. Alberta there, but not on the same page. And Sydney Smith and the shortstop Rice almost come together. But they do record the out. So Lajoie will say stay at first. Morat, the center fielder who singled back in the third. Morat's single actually plated Gamache, the lone Quebec run, so she has an RBI in this one. In the ninth spot. The ninth spot has been productive. Stanich with a throw. One bouncer, and Lajoie is out. Good hands by Rice. It was a one bouncer, and Couture rolls the dice. And it's going to be a caught stolen. So 2 outs now for Morin. The ball hit, and it just gets under the glove of Rice and to left field for the base hit. So possibly could have been first and second with 1 out. It's now one first runner at first with 2 out, but back to the top of the order for leadoff hitter, the catcher Julien. Julien was in the 9 hole yesterday in a couple of Quebec's games. Did very well in that spot. They put her up into the leadoff spot, and it's been 0 for 2 as she struck out and has flied out. Here's a bouncer. Appleyard. Right back where it came from, over to Downs, and retiring the side. So they'll leave a runner stranded. No runs. A hit. There was no Alberta errors and 1 left on. Here in the 5th inning for Quebec. Head to the bottom of the 5th now. Score remains Alberta 3, Quebec 2-1. here at the 2019 Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships here on 360 Live. Major League Baseball continues to be a significant contributor to the growth and development of Baseball Canada and its associated programs. Events such as the World Baseball Classic provide exposure for Canada's top professional players while generating invaluable media coverage and associated revenue for developmental programming initiatives such as the baseball program, Winter Baseball program, and all Baseball Canada Championships. Visit MLB.com. So it'll be Weeks, Smith, and Rice up for Alberta here in the bottom of the fifth. Pitching change now as Oceanois comes in to pitch for Quebec 2. Lajoie will stay in the game. She ran for Vachon, and she'll stay on and play first base. That'll move Deblois to left field. Couture talking with Skylar Blanchett there. Let her know the changes. Vachon moves to shortstop. Ava Weeks, who singled back in the third. Left-hand hitter getting last-minute coaching instructions before she gets in the box. So Vachon moves to left field. Just making the changes here to Game Changer, so it's an online service that lets you know the scoring implications, or the online scoring lets you know what's going on. And that's the reason for the delay, is getting these changes put to paper and then put online. In the meantime, Waugh says, I'm just going to do some warm-up tosses. They've actually made Marenko in behind the plate, so Julianne So big defensive changes here for Quebec here in the bottom of the fifth. Waugh coming on to pitch, and of course we saw Lajoie going to first base, so LaBelle will stay at second. Vachon is now at short. Finkel remains at third. And we're back underway. Weeks, left-hand hitter, as we mentioned. 1 for 1 in this game. First pitch for Waugh. Second pitching changed. Second pitcher this afternoon, and Weeks squares to bunt. So Deblois has gone to first to left field. Legault is now the center fielder. Desautel will stay in there. Foul ball. Moran going around for it. Deblois, Legault, Desautel. left, right. Finkel, Vachon, the shortstop, LaBelle, Lajoie at first, and Morin catching. In this 3-1 game, that's the defensive changes now for Team Quebec. Waugh here in a roll, just basically what you call a hold here. Make sure that Alberta doesn't get any more. As we're getting to the nitty-gritty here of game number 1. Weeks with a weak offer. That one goes down as Waugh will start off with a strikeout. Sidney Smith, the leadoff hitters, have been quite quiet here for both teams. Smith here for Alberta. Juliet there for Quebec. Blanchett calls time there, wants to clean off the plate. Strikeout and a pop-up here for Smith as she popped to short in the third. So it was popped to third, my apologies. Sometimes I have doctor's handwriting. Regardless, it's 0 for 2. That's what really matters in the thick of things. 3-1. Waugh dealing, chopped to the backstop. Slightly jammed that time there by Smith, right in on the fist. And that one's low. One to count here to the leadoff hitter for Alberta. 1-1 offering, and that's hit the center, left center, and that will drop in front of Debois for a base hit. Ball gets by the shortstop for Sean, but LaBelle backing up for Quebec. Brindley Rice, been on base twice. Scored the first run back in the fourth there for Alberta and walked in the first. She was hit by a pitch back in the fourth. Smith not going, that ball in the dirt. Moran has difficulty and Smith will go into second base. Wild pitch. Wind now blowing out to center field. Now they'll go back to second, and time to get a little bit close for Vachon and Smith. Friends in low places, Garth Brooks' song a few years ago, and Friends, can't remember what that ad was. It says get a little bit closer. Was it a toothbrush commercial or a mouthwash commercial? I can't really remember, but anyway, Smith was back in, standing up, and Vachon, and you get a little bit up close and personal on that play. Lucky they weren't going full tilt. Rice will make her way down to first base. Sador now to the plate. Doubled in Rice to tie the game, and then she came around and scored. 1 for 2 is the third baseman here this morning. Takes that pitch low for a ball. Well, British Columbia really putting it to Nova Scotia too right now. 11-0 as they play at the bottom of the second. I was expected to be probably a very close game, but British Columbia, and really not much of a surprise that they're winning, just by how much, because British Columbia is a solid baseball program out there. And that one's hit. And it goes over the center fielder's head. She goes down, so she's eliminated herself. So Alberta will clear the bases. Rice scores. Smith scores. And they're trying to round home. Sador's going to score on an inside the park home run. Melanie Couture going to go out to check on Legault, the center fielder. There's action now in the Quebec 2 bullpen. Océane Lambert up. Couture checking on Legault, and the infielders having a meeting at the pitcher's mound. Was going for the ball, was stretched, and then lost her footing, and she hit the center field grass hard. And Deschâtel had to go in backup mode, and that allowed the 3-run inside the park home run there for Sador. And that has made it 6-1. Back to the dugout there for Team Quebec. Legault A-OK. Tyra Stanich reached on an air and scored in the fourth. Struck out in the second. Waugh was in hold mode. There's a pop, and Vachon loses her hat but makes the catch. And that's the first out. Zelaya Downs. 0 for 2, lined to second in the fourth and grounded out. Back in the second. I was about to say Waugh was in a hold mode, and now all of a sudden is now in a situation where it's Quebec that's really can't afford to give up any more runs, trailing by 5 here at the bottom of the fifth. So that's a foul ball, says Kevin Purchase. As they play a little bit of hot potato to get it back there to the home plate umpire, Skylar Blanchett. Oh, 2 Downs, swings, had a ball, but the ball gets by Moran. She gets down there. They're going to have a play at first, and the ball's right because Downs and Lajoie got together. She's kind of feeling her arm afterwards. But a strikeout victim, but unfortunately because of the pass ball, Downs reaches first. Sydney Moore. She doubled back in the fourth. Steve Inch. Going to go to a pinch runner here for Downs. Ava Grenner will pitch run for downs. Ava Grenner, as I said, and now she'll have to slide back in as Waugh goes over to LaJoie. Wind picks up again here at the Robert Linehan field. They'll go back over to first again. Grenner easily in. Dirt on the bag. Kevin Purchase calls time briefly there to clean it off. Grenner looking to see if she can take off as that misses for ball one there to Moore. 1-0 the count. More of a slightly open stance. Wow, from the stretch. Nice move over to first base that time. Grenner easily back. Grenner maybe got a little bit of an extra step there. Not going. That's in the ball low in the dirt for 2-0. Wow, the second pitcher this morning here for Quebec and has given up 3 already. And inside the park home run. That ball is hit down left field. It will go foul. 268 down each line, and that went about 258 feet there, but well foul there by the extra hitter here for Alberta, Sydney Moore. That's popped, but it goes back over the screen and out of play. Well, to the bottom of the third, still British Columbia leading by a score of 11-0 over Nova Scotia 2. Nova Scotia 2 was one of the surprises here in the championships. Went undefeated, but British Columbia as well. So in the battle of the undefeateds, British Columbia's leading 11-0. And as you know, for this one, this is 6-1 as we play the bottom of the fifth. Full count now here to Moore. So Grenner will be on the go. Not much of a lead that time, but Grenner had to go back in sliding there for Alberta. Maybe seeing if Grenner was going to go on first move. Nothing there that time. I was kind of surprised on a full count offering. It's ball four as Moore will make her way down to first. Kind of surprised me because they could have probably done maybe like a hit and run on a full count offering and no movement at all. The right fielder Andy Suhai will come up for Alberta. In the meantime, Waugh going to be taking off the mound. So this is a third pitching change here for Quebec. It's Quebec in that mode where they pretty well got to stop the bleeding. Lambert coming in to pitch. She was the one that was in the bullpen there for Team Quebec. Coach Orr meeting with Blanchett there, so there will be more defensive changes here for Quebec here in this bottom of the fifth. So why this pitching change has come about, Toronto Blue Jays continue to be an integral partner in the development of baseball across Canada. Baseball Canada would like to thank the Blue Jays for their tremendous support to all Baseball Canada national championships, along with providing their expertise and advice, which continues to enhance the relationship between professional and amateur baseball in Canada. Please visit BlueJays.com. Go Jays, go! Changes aplenty here for both teams as now Steve Inch is with Blanchett Ware with a lineup card in his hand. Coming up at 12 o'clock here, we'll have New Brunswick versus Manitoba. Second look at Manitoba, second look at New Brunswick here on the Robert Lenahan Field. We've seen a lot at the championships. Kinsley pitch hitting here for Andy Suhai. Kinsley out of St. Albert, Alberta, the 16-year-old. Lambert deals, doesn't get the call from Blanchett. 1-1 the count. Bottom of the fifth, 2 outs. Moore at first, Grinner at second. And Kinsley is a strikeout victim, so she comes in and it's the third out there for Alberta. Inch trying to get maybe that little bit of insurance, but Kinsley goes down as a third out. So, 3 more runs there for Alberta. They're in the top of the fifth, as they lead this one 6-1. Ace Hotel to lead it off here for Quebec in a 6-1 game. Appleyard back out here. She has been the starting pitcher all the way for Team Alberta. Throws the ball there to the right fielder. Deshotel, Deblois, and Finkel do up here in this 6. Downs goes down and scoops it off the dirt. And as she does the throw around, it goes to the outfield. So she was feeling it there for a second. So a little bit of a what they classify as the old heat check there in basketball. Liner there. 1 down now as Deblois comes up. 2 flyouts for her. Start the game at first base and now out to the left field. Swings at the first offering by Appleyard. 1 strike. That will even the count at 1-1. Bouncer back up the middle, and it'll get through for a base hit. Rebecca Finkel. Finkel having a tough morning here at the plate. Struck out in the second. And grounded out in the 4th. But she'll get a hold of this one, and this one will bounce to the warning track. Deblois was being asked to go and round, and she will score as the ball will get by Stanich, so Finkel will make her way to third base. A double, and she'll take third on the throw. Throwing error moves her up to third. Deblois comes around to score. That makes it 6-2 as Quebec starts to chip away here in the top of the 6. Justine Labelle. She's had a good afternoon, good morning, whatever you want to call it. She tripled and singled in this game, 2 for 2. Goes after the first pitch. Right at her eyeballs. It's sent to right field. The catch made. And they come home with it, but not in time as Finkel scores. Kinsley making that catch. The pitcher Waugh now coming up. So 6-3 as we have 2 outs here in this top of the 6. Appleyard found the windup now. That sails by everybody to the back for a ball. Lachois on deck if Waugh can keep this inning alive for Quebec. Quebec led this game by a score of 1-0, and then a 3-run outburst for Alberta in the 4th, and then they came back with the 5th of another 3-run outburst, made it 6-1. Chip back for a couple here right in the top of the 6. 6-3 is where we stand with 2 outs, and the pitcher Waugh facing Appleyard. 2-2 count. Just gets a piece. You chip it back. Waugh waiting the 2-2 offering. Barrels that. right center field, and that will get to the fence. And Waugh getting the wave around, has to come to third by Couture. She should get there easily. Standing up is Waugh, trying to help out her cause. Gamache, who got a single back in the third. She's the one that plated Quebec's first run of this game. Third time around, even more success here for Quebec against Appleyard. Stanich and Appleyard having a conversation. Couture once again to her lineup card. Was Lajoie that was in the batter's box, so she's made this adjustment here. See the importance here of these games as you move on into championships. A lot of double switches, a lot of moves back and forth, and Quebec bench standing up, pounding on the fence, trying to get some support here. They're in rally mode here at the Robert Lenahan Field. For joining us, my name is Dan Hobson. 6-3 is where we stand. Here's a ground ball. That hits the base. Downs has to put on the Jets and will step on first base to end the inning. Took a good friendly bounce there for Downs, and with quick hands, and then turned on the Jets to easily step on the base there to retire Quebec 2 here in the sixth. But Quebec 2 get a couple back as they chip away at it. 6-3 as we head to the bottom of the sixth here at the Robert Lenahan Field. Saturday morning. Hope you're enjoying your weekend wherever you're watching here on 360 Live. My name is Dan Hobson. Appleyard, Breen, and Weeks due up here for Alberta in the bottom of the sixth. Humidity has broken down. It has been sort of like high humidity for the first 2 days of the championships. You can just sense it when you got up this morning. That has changed, and the nice breeze, sun is shining for probably the first time in morning play for the early games. We've had some overcast skies and not much in terms of fooling some of these outfielders. They're adjusting to the sun very well. As soon as I say that the sun, a big cloud has covered up that yellow dot in the sky. Hoping you're enjoying the championships wherever you're watching here on 360 Live, and we're delighted to be here in Bedford, bringing you the championships, and of course tomorrow the championship game will be on 360 Live as well as on TV1 Atlantic. So if you are a subscriber, you could watch it on Channel 1 and 401, the championship game tomorrow night at 6 here from the Robert Lenahan Field. Helena Appleyard walked in the third and walked in the fourth. Alberta looking to get some insurance, maybe get those 2 runs that they gave up there in the top of the sixth back. Have a funny feeling that Steve Inch knows that, very important game. You know that Appleyard is going to come back for the 7th inning. And stranger things have happened here at these championships. That's high. Bear having a hard time finding the strike zone. 4 straight to Appleyard. She'll walk for the 3rd time today. Taylor Breen. She pitched hit and grounded it out to the pitcher back in the 4th. Maybe asked to bunt. Had her bat sort of like if she was in bunt mode, and then brought it back. Didn't really square to bunt per se, just had her hands in a little different position, but I think that's maybe how she hits. She has her hands there, and then all of a sudden when the pitcher goes to set mode, she brings her hands back. Yes, she does. That's a unique hitting style, but if it works for you, it works for you. 2-0 count now. 2-0 count, pardon me. Appleyard, good lead there. Could be a play here. And a drop there by Gamache. Gamache back in. That's a tough air to take there for the first baseman. She started this game pitch and did well on the mound. And right now, she finds herself as pitcher on record here for Quebec. But a new life here for Breen. And Breen will take a walk, so back-to-back walks now. As Lambert having difficulties finding it, and Melanie Couture to the mound. Weeks 1 for 2. 10th hitter in this order here for Alberta. That's high for a ball, and Lambert having difficulty finding a strike zone. 2 walks in this inning. Strike there, evens it at 1-1. Quebec looking to turn 2. To the backstop and over, so now it is 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Weeks. Weeks trying to get it back to the top of the order for Team Alberta as Sydney Smith, the second baseman, in the on-deck circle. 1-2 offering from Lambert. There's a ground ball. Gamache takes it herself, steps on the bag. In the meantime, Appleyard goes to third, Breen to second. Smith today singled back in the 5th and scored. Flied out in the 3rd and struck out in the 1st. Corners are in here for Quebec. Middle infielders back. Interesting defensive alignment, late stages of the game. You figured you'd have everybody in. There's the pop-up. Moran will have a play. Can't make the play, and it's a fair ball, and Smith will get on thanks to, you'd have to say, an error. So now the bases are loaded for Brindley Rice. And this will change the defensive alignment for Quebec, too. They bring the infielders in. So they're going to try to cut this one down at the plate. That's a ball there to the shortstop, 1-0. Appleyard at third, Breen at second, Smith at first. 1-0 offering from Waugh. And it hits her, so that's going to score a run. Appleyard comes in, and that makes it 7-3. Breen to third, Smith to second, Rice at first. Not sure what this conference is about with coaching staff of Quebec. Kevin Purchase coming in. And now they're going to have a sidebar here as Solarski, Purchase, and Blanchett, the law firm here of this game. Quebec doesn't think that hit the batter. Blanchett says, I think it did. Wants to talk to Solarski and Purchase. So that's what they will do. Boy, it's a long one there on the bottom. They're playing the bottom of the third over there on the Joan Lenahan field, and British Columbia leading by 2 touchdowns and 2 safeties. I'll put that to you in simple terms. 18-0 as they play in the bottom of the third over there. This one's 7-3. Sadorf, she's had a good day. Of course, that inside the park home run and the double. 2 for 3. But she did ground out back in the first. That inside the park home run has been a little bit of a difference maker. Goes up the middle, base hit. That will score Breen. Smith comes around. She'll slide in to make it for dramatic purposes. Rice goes up to third. And Sador into second. Three more here for Alberta in the bottom of the sixth. So they were looking for insurance. They got the insurance. Nine 3. Another pitching change here for Quebec. Been playing right field most of this weekend, but they will send Florence Desautels on here for Team Quebec. So this will make some more defensive changes for them. Stay here for Alberta. pretty soon might be curtains for that game over there at the Joan Lenahan Field if they can get to the fifth. 18-0 the score. Tyra Stanich, the catcher. Struck out back in inning number 2. She reached on near in the 4th and scored, and then flied to short. It's been her game so far for the catcher. Out of Calgary, 16-year-old. Desotel, of course, been playing right field, so she had her batting gloves with her. Can't have anything on the sleeves. That, so she's having to take the long sleeves off. And of course, yesterday, Johnson, the pitcher there for Team Ontario, had a wristband on and purchase. Asked her just to push it down and out of viewing distance. So a quick change there by the pitcher, Desotel. The sunny morning is now made for a cloudy morning as the clouds have rolled in here. Just past 11 o'clock Saturday morning, the East Coast. You're watching 360 Live's coverage of the 2019 Under-16 Girls Invitational National Baseball Championships. My name is Dan Hobson. This is Alberta taking on Quebec 2. Alberta at bat. Alberta with a comfortable 9-3 lead as the dust starts to kick up here at the Robert Lenahan Field. Stanich at the plate. 9-3. There's a bouncer. And Stanich beats it out. In the meantime, Rice comes across and plates the 10th run there for Alberta. Sador up to third. That just had disaster written all over. Hit that plate and it bounced up, and really nothing much that Team Quebec could do on that one. Olivia Waugh tried to give it her best, but it was not in the dice for her. Downs looks at ball 1. Manitoba and New Brunswick coming up at 12 o'clock here in the Robert Lenahan Field. Desotel now gets the sign there from Moran. There's the pitch. That's a ball. 2-1 the count here to the first baseman out of Alberta. Downs out of Edmonton. That bounces in. Moran can't find it, looking around. In the meantime, Stanich up to second. Handshakes on the other field as British Columbia with a convincing victory over Nova Scotia 2. Last time I looked, it was 18-0, but Downs going to go down to first base as a result of a walk. Sydney Moore. Coach yelling out instructions to the outfielders here. They're going to play straight back. Gamache is going to play in front of Downs, not hold her on first, but play in front as they are in on the corners middle infield back. So if the corners get a ball to them, they're coming home. Only one out. That's Wiz Weeks as she grounded out to Gamache. 4 runs in this. Moore asks for time, gets it. She's in the driver's seat, 2 balls, no strikes. Close game has been blown out again. 3-0 and no room to put her. Be interesting to see if Moore has the green light or if Inch gives her the green light. Desautel looking for get me over fastball probably, and there it is. Takes all the way, 3 balls, 1 strike. Chops that foul, so that will fill it up. A 7-run game here for Team Alberta. You know that they're not really going to get motion going on here. Itch with the finger saying, "What out?" That she has to duck out of the way for ball 4. And that will be another run. Sador crosses the plate. Stanich to third. Downs to second. And Moore on the walk. Morgan Kinsley, the 9th person to bat in this inning. Kinsley batting in the 7th hole. And she's jammed, and this is an infield fly. And the Alberta team really with a base-loading gap that time. Infield fly, the batter was up. Players didn't have to go, but stranding too far was Moore, so she gets thrown out. Trying to go back. But it was a productive inning for Team Alberta, 5 across the plate. 11-3 now as we head to the top of the 7th. It'll be the 8th spot. Morin and Julien, the top of the order for Quebec. 8, 9, and 1. And we'll see if Quebec does some adjustments in that 8th spot. There has been some changes galore, so we'll see who will hit in that 8th spot here for them. That was the spot occupied by Adrienne Vachon. Olivia Lambert, a former pitcher, will hit in that spot now. So it'll be Lambert and Juliet. Appleyard back out here, so it looks like she's going to throw a complete game in this one. Going to go the distance. Océan Lambert to lead it off here for Quebec. Last chance for romance for them here. Trailing by 8. That one's above the helmet for a ball. Everybody off the Quebec bench. New Brunswick team onlookers. They'll be playing Manitoba. Swing and a miss. Strike one by Lambert. 1-1. Appleyard deals. That is popped. Could be a play, but Downs won't get there in time. So it's 1-2. Get to this stature of the championships, all of a sudden your pitch counts and arms rest. It's all becomes elementary. It's pretty wild win to keep your thing going on for you here. There's a ground ball. It's up the middle, and that will go actually get to left field for a base hit. Leadoff hitter Lambert is on. Catcher Justine Morin began the game. At center field is now in behind the plate. Interesting in an 8-run game that Downs is holding Lambert. You'd figure she may play behind, but suppose you really don't want to really allow that runner easily access to second base, but you've got 8 runs to play with, but this is, as we see, no lead is safe here at the championships. Teams get off to a surmountable lead, like Prince Edward Island led. Nova Scotia won by a score of 7-0, and Nova Scotia came back and won that one. The final was 21-12, so anything's possible. Appleyard looks over. That's a good stare at Lambert. Goes to the plate. That's hit the right center, and that could be going to the gap, and it does as it gets by the outfielders. There for Team Alberta. Lambert puts on the brakes, hesitates. Throw comes in. It's second and third now. Morin with a double. Now you pretty well know the defense will be back here. Océan Legault in the top of the order now. That's a ball. Ball one. One and 0 to count. Dace Hotel, the pitcher, on deck. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Fake down there by Stanich. But doesn't throw it. But a good pump fake nonetheless. That had Lambert dancing back to third. Lambert at third, at second. Alberta looking for their first out of the inning, and it finally comes as Legault will be a strikeout victim. Dace Hotel to the plate. As Legault's first at bat here. And she's a strike. Dace Hotel lined to first, fly to short, lined back to first again, so 0 for 3. That's popped. And out of play for strike one. 0-1 on its way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Alberta just counting down the outs here. Top of the 7th. 1 down here for Quebec. 2nd and 3rd. They're in on the corner. Middle infield comes back. They'll concede the run, of course. The 8-run deficit. Downs. Happy just to step on the base as Lambert scores. Makes it 11-4. Eleanor Debois, the due up. Quebec down to their last out. Morant at 3rd. Here's a pop, but this could be the game. 3rd baseman coming on, Sador to make the catch, and that's how the ball game ends. Quebec led early, but they couldn't hold on. It's a 3 spot for Alberta, and they just managed to keep tapping away and just putting more runs onto the board. Quebec unable to get another run until this top of the 7th, so they score a run, but not enough. 11-4 the final is here at the Robert Lenahan Field, and of course on the other field, Joe Lenahan, British Columbia, with a convincing win over Nova Scotia 2. Teams are going to do handshakes. Allow us to get ready for our 2nd game of the day. Midday game between New Brunswick and Manitoba. A couple of teams just having a little difficulty here in the championships, trying to find their stride, but looking here to maybe turn things around with a win here in the playoff portion of the championships. Round robin portion first 2 days. Now we're into the playoffs where anything goes. Win to keep your season alive. Teams lining up for the player of the game presentation. So Alberta now goes to 2. And Quebec is now 2-2. Josh Brophy and Luke Nicholson making the player of the game presentation here as the wind picks up again. You can hear it in our microphones. It's like a wind belt around here. Gamache, the player of the game. You'll see the Quebec team, that's the player of the game for Alberta, is introduced. They'll go to the mound as well. Once it gets introduced here by Vern Aker. Helena Appleyard, the complete game. And as you see, as I predicted, they'll get the handshakes there from Team Quebec. So that is the story here for the first game here at day 3 from the Robert Lenahan Field. Alberta with 11-4 win over Quebec. So for my producer Drew and the entire 360 Live crew here from the Robert Lenahan Field, my name is Dan Hobson. Thank you for tuning in, and so long, Bedford.